So how the objects are created? Objects are created in various ways. There are 2, 3 ways to create the object. One of the way, which is a simple way, is I say var a equal to curly bracket. So this is an object. I can do the log a is a, and then I can go into the browser. Okay. So here you are seeing the a as an object. So this curly bracket is an object. So one of the way to create object is curly bracket. We will see some other ways also to create the object on Wednesday or Thursday class. But today I want you to show this method later. Now, when I don't write anything in the script, this is called the global space. So when I start the script, this is called global space. This global space is kind of high level, and we create different functions inside this global space, and inside the function we create another functions, and like this we create different functions and variables inside the global space. Now what will happen if I say console.log of this? What is this means? Can anybody tell me this? What is the this is? Okay, right now, since I will load this in the window, so you will see this as a window. This is nothing but the global space of this JavaScript. But since we are loading in the browser, so this is actually have the property called the window. Window has all the different other properties. So if I do console.log of this, you will see there is a window property, and because this actually generally represent is this browser, that is a browser window, and it has so many different properties which we can use in the global space. So I have so many properties here. See, a lot of properties are there, more than 1,000. And we can use any of these properties in the global space. Now I will create one function A, and I will also create another function, b equal to function, and I will run the function A. Okay, let's do this one. I will run B also, but after some time. And here if I say console.log of this, now tell me what will be this means. I run the function A. Okay, let's keep this B here after A. So what is the meaning of this now? I am putting this inside the function. So previously we saw the function, the console.log of this is the global. Now I am creating this inside the function. What will be this inside this function? So Sapandra is saying A. Since we have A function, so it is logical that this should be tied to A. But I don't want this answer. I want answer from everybody. Even if it's wrong or right, I want you to answer what is this means. It's A. Olga is saying A. Okay, 2 people have answered. I want answer from everybody. I know you can run in your browser and try to answer it here. Just don't try to check in your browser and answer it. Just try a local variable. Okay. So let's try to run this one and see what happened when I run. Let's delete this part now and try to see what is this console and what is is this console means. So first console will come this here, second console will come this here. So I refresh it. As soon as I refresh it, you will see first one is also window, second one is also window. So that means when we are creating a function inside that, this is nothing but the global space only. We are not getting another a kind of this or any other thing of here. So that means whenever we have a function and we put this inside it, this is generally the global space only. It is not the function space. Now I will delete this part for few minutes. Now what I will do, I will say this dot name is equal to baby. What I did, this dot name equal to baby. Now let's see what happens in the browser. I refresh it, I open this window and I move to the name part. You will see it's a baby here. Can you see the baby here? So I created a baby in the global space. Now what I will do, I will put this function again. So I have a function, I have the console.log this. Now if I type this dot some variable is equal to hello. So when I do this, let's put this console.log this outside also. So I created a variable inside this function with the name of this dot, variable name hello, and let's see now what happens. So this is first one inside the function, this is outside the function in the global space. So if I open it, I will go to the some variable hello in the global space, and I open this second window and I go to some variable equal to hello. I am able to see both the variables in both the places. So that means if I put something inside this function with a name called as this dot some variable, it is actually creating in the global space, and I can access this outside also using this dot some variable. So this dot some variable is not the local, it's kind of the global variable, and I can access it outside that function also. Let's do same thing by creating another function using this one var b equal to function. And here also I will do console.log this, and I will delete all other functions. Let's run this b function. I get window, and I get the window same which I got from the a function, similar to a function. What I wanted to say is that whenever we create this inside the function, it is a global variable. It is a global scope, and I can use it as a global scope. It is not the scope of this. Does not belong to this function. It belongs to the global space. This will be useful in many of your JavaScript interview, because in the interview they ask if you want to create this dot some variable, global variable here, you can use this dot some variable, and you can create a global variable here also. So that's why I explained this function here. Now the story is not ended here. We have to go a little bit more in depth. Now I will create a object var c equal to object. I just told you that the object we have different methods. One of the method is this curly bracket, and in this curly bracket I can put key value pairs. So for example, I can say name equal to John. I created one key value pair. Now let's do the console.log of C. So when I did console.log of C, I get name equal to John because I have name equal to John. Let's try to create another function inside this object. In object, we can have key, value, and key can be anything and value can be any format. So I can also say age as a number format, for example 34. I can also say is listed as a Boolean value, true or false. I can also create another key value object like address with a different object like this. And here I can say again key value pair, city. I can say Sunnyvale, state, CA. So I can create key value pair in different data types. So first one is a string, second one is integer, third one is a Boolean, fourth one is object. So I can create different data types. I can also create another data type called as a function. Let's create a key called a logs, and I will put a function here. So this is the function. So this key is the logs and function is this one. Now I will do the console.log of this. Now what will happen? When I run this log function, what is this means? See, let's run this one. I will say c.logs. I run this one, that is this function, and we will see what is exactly this means. Okay, so when I run the, okay, this is the logs. Wait. I will c.logs. Okay, so this now, okay, when I run the c.logs, actually it is doing the console.log of this, and this in the object. When I have a function inside the object, this actually belongs to this C. This belongs to C. And C has name and the logs as a key value pair. That's why when I do console.log of this, when I call this function, it is going here in the console.log and it is calling this, and this is nothing but the C object, and the C object has name and the logs as a key value pair. And that's the reason you are able to see and the name equal to John, because this is nothing but the C object and this is the C object. If I add one more parameter called as age, you will see here you are getting name, age, and the logs because you are getting the C object. I am putting this. This means nothing but the C object. Is that clear what is this means? This does not mean this function. This does not mean the global scope. This means this C object. Okay, now I will go further. I will create another variable called as var d equal to function. And here I will do console.log of this. And I will call d variable here, d function here. Now tell me, we already saw this is C object. What will happen when I call this inside the function? This is one function. Inside this, we have another function. I call console.log of this. What will be this here in this case? It is a D. Okay, let's check this one. I am in D. Okay, I am in logs. Let's take this one where I call c.logs. This is one thing and this is another thing. So when I'm in the logs, it is giving me the C object. But when I'm in the D, it is giving me the global object. It is giving me the global object. It is not giving me the D. It is not giving me the C. It is not giving me logs. It is giving me global object. So we have one object. Inside that we have one function. We are okay when we are in this function. When we call this is nothing but the C object. But as soon as we create another function inside this function, we are getting the global object. This is the inconsistency in the JavaScript, but it is how it works. You won't get D object or C object or logs object here inside this internal function. Inside this function, we will always get global object. So if I want to change this name, I can change it here like saying this dot, let me put this here below. I will say this dot name is equal to mango. Let's say I put mango. So now if I put this dot name equal to mango, if I'm not putting mango, let's say if I'm not putting mango, what is coming here? Name is coming here as a John. Now I will put this dot name equal to mango. Now what will happen to this name? What will come in this name? Mango. Let's refresh it. It's coming mango. Now, so because this means this C object, and so I'm able to change the name of the C object, putting this dot name equal to mango. Now for a second, assume this one, that if I am passing some variable here, for example, new name, and I want to change this name to this new name. So if I am passing here as banana, this banana will go inside this D function as a new name, and I want to change this name to this new name. How will I change this name? Whether this will work, this dot name equal to new name. If I put this like this, whether this name will be changed or no? No. Why it will not be changed? Because this dot name is the global scope. This is the global scope, not the C scope. So if I put this dot name equal to new name, it will not change the C dot name, right? Because this refers to the window. Now if I want to forcefully change this name inside this function, what is the way? I don't want to use bind call apply now. I haven't reached to that point now. So this dot C dot name will not work. We can see that later, but this dot C dot name will not work. You can try that this dot C dot name, but that will not work. What is the way if I want to change this name when I'm inside this one? Right now we don't want to talk about closures also. Okay, so we will see closures and we don't want to call the closures here because this is not the way closures are used in this pattern. So this is not the closure pattern and we don't want to use the closure now. So what people do, what the JavaScript developers do in this case, if I want to change this dot name equal to new name, that is if I want to change this name inside this function, first let's see if it is really changed or not, and then we will see how to fix it. So still it is mango, whereas I passed here banana. So I want actually then this C dot name should be banana. So what people generally do, they create a global variable or they create a local variable here called as var self equal to this. So they are saying self equal to this. So this means nothing but this one, and that is the C object. Now this variable can be accessed inside this function because this is the parent part. So here instead of this dot name, they used to put the self dot name. When they put self dot name equal to new name, this self is nothing but this, and this is nothing but the C object. So in indirectly we are changing the C object by calling the self. So now if I refresh it, okay, let me call this one, I am the D, let me call this self. Okay, so here you will see I am banana. So I am putting here in the console.log self. So here it is self is nothing but the banana. So this self is nothing but this one, because you will see age also, you are seeing all the objects same. So you are able to see that this self is the C object. So many people try to do this round way, that if I want to change this name, I will be using self variable, and self will go inside this one and it will really change this C. Some people name it as that. They will not put that self name, they like that. So I can use that also. So here will be that. So I'm able to see the banana here. Now in ES6 version of the JavaScript, they have created the function with the new way called as arrow function. So whatever you are writing this round bracket, this is the round bracket, and this is the curly bracket which you are putting, and this is the curly bracket. We will talk about this ES6 version on Wednesday, not today, because you will be confused with two things. We will see what is the advantages of this arrow function in this case. Now, if I create another function here, var e equal to function x, and if I do console.log of this inside this function, what will be this here? So here we saw if I put this, it is the global object. But if I create a function inside this function, what will be this? It will be window. So if I go inside the first function, this is nothing but the C object. If I go inside the second function, this is the global object, that is the window. And if I go inside another function, and if I have this again, then also it will refer to the global object. So only the first time we are able to see this means the C object, and n number of times if we go inside this function, then it is the global object. So n number of times we will be referring to the global object. And if we want to really use this C, then we can create a var self equal to this, and then I can use this here inside this also, and here I can call like this, and now I will see here as a C object, here also I will see here as a C object. Okay, so there is some line number 20, there is a error. Let's see, where is the error? Okay, so here also I will see C object, here also I'm seeing C object, here also I'm seeing C object. So if I want to use first time C object, I will use this. But if I want to use multiple times C object, then I will use the self variable. In the ES6 version, we have the that without using self, I can use this inside a function, because we will not call the real function, we will call the ES6 function that is not the real function. So we can use this inside that function also. So we will see that on the Wednesday and not today. So this is all about the this and the object with this, and this is very important. If you in any JavaScript interview, they will ask what is this means here, what is this means here, and if you are not able to answer this properly, then they will think that you don't have the basic understanding of this object. So this is very important for the interview. Okay, this part is done. Since we have couple of minutes, we will do little more. We will do little more exercise. So we saw one method to create the object. Now here we will see another method to call the object. I will say var person is equal to new object. So this is one of the way to create the object. I will do console.log person. Okay, so I have to go to 2.html. So I will see this is an object, an empty object, and we see the person here. I can add the properties to this person by saying person dot name is equal to Tony, and then I'll do console.log person. So I have the name Tony. I can also use like this, person in the bracket, first name is equal to Tony, person last name is equal to Dale. I'll do person again and I'll refresh. So see Tony, first name Tony, last name Dale. Now if I create a variable called as X, and if I give the name of this variable as first name, now what will happen if I console.log of person.x? If I do person.x, what will be displayed? Sapanna says Tony. Any other? Any other option? Let's see what it comes. It is coming undefined. Okay. So now why it is undefined? Because we never created person.x. Yes. So if we want to do if we want the Tony, then I will say person of bracket X, and then if I refresh, I'm getting Tony. Because if I do person.x, it tries to find whether person.x is there or not. But if I do in the rectangular bracket, then X will be converted into the first name and it will find the first name to get the Tony. So to put the dynamic variable, we have to put the rectangular bracket. But if we know that person.firstname exists, I can also say person.firstname. So I can use dot and the name if I know that variable already exists. But if it is a dynamic, we don't know what will come, then it is better we use rectangular bracket, and we will try to use that one, rectangular bracket. Now this object, this person object can have another object also. So For example, I will say person dot address is equal to new object, and then I can say person dot address dot street is equal to 111 in street. Person dot address dot city is equal to New York. Person dot address dot state is equal to New York, and then I can do console.log of person. So we have one object here, and then we have another object inside the person by putting person.address equal to new object, and we have another object. So we have the first object which has all, and then the address object which has city, state, and street. So we can create an object, and we can create another object inside the previous object, and then it can go n number of times inside it. We can create n number of times our object. We can do similarly by using the var person2 equal to as an object, literal object, the one which we saw previously. And here I can say first name is equal to Tony, last name is equal to Bill, and now it is a key value pair, and I can also say address with again curly bracket, that is another object, and I can say street, blah blah blah. I can say city, blah blah blah, and I can say state as NY, whatever it is. So either you create using this way, or you can create using this way, and there is also a third way which we will see after a few days. But these two are the commonly called, commonly used to create the object and object inside the object. Now, if I want to convert, if I do the console.log of person, I will see object. Okay, I'm getting the object because here also we have the console.log of person. If I want to use it as a string, right now it's an object, but if I want to display it as a string, I can use json.stringify, and then I can pass the person. So that way I will be using it as a string. Okay, json.stringify. So I'm using this object as a string to display it as a string. I can convert this string again to object by calling the function called as json.parse, and then I will pass. So this is the string. I will pass into json.parse. So again the string will be converted into object. That is again coming into the object. So this one is to convert object to string, and this one is coming. This one is used to convert a string to object. So this is all about the object. Two ways to create the object, and we will see one more way to create the object in few days. And we will also see on Wednesday what is call, bind, and apply. So we'll see call, bind, and apply on Wednesday. What is the difference between and when to use it, first one, second one, or third one.